Okay, welcome back to the MobilityWOD. Today we've got a couple things going on. One is that we're going to kind of show you another way to integrate this kind of mobility project into your life. And it's tricky, I understand. Right now we've got the television on pause. My wife and I, it's not very paleo, but sometimes we watch a little TV, little homes on homes, you know, little HG TV. And it's late at night. It's not late at night, but it's at night. And man, there's a commercial on. And when that commercial is on, that's when you should be attacking your weak spots. And so it's one more way to kind of integrate this. Think about trying to do mobility during the commercials. They're 2 to 4 minutes long. And choose a body part and get after it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Hey, tomorrow I've got a deadlift heavy. Maybe do some handstand push-ups like the main side WOD. So let's do a couple things. One is we're going to bury another concept in here called positional inhibition, which is basically this, is that when you get the body into a bad position, like the scapula being forward, your rotator cuff doesn't turn on very effectively. We see it all the time in the kind of the lower abdomen, that when you're overextended, it's hard to recruit your abs very effectively. We also see it in the butt. When the butt is overextended, we don't get a lot of glute action. And remember that butt is responsible for buffering a lot of the kind of that L5-S1 positioning. So if I can't control or recruit my butt very effectively because I'm so short in the front of the hips here, then I don't have a very good mechanism to limit overextension. So whenever I deadlift, if I'm already overturned a little bit, it's difficult for me to get those segments into a neutral position. And it's not until I'm actually in neutral, loaded kind of neutral active spine with normal curves here, that I can actually control the butt. And the test in this is that if you put your arms up over your head, you'll see that you'll relax. And your pelvis, if I just let my pelvis go, it will automatically drop into a little extension. So just a little bit of that bias of just positionally, there's enough passive drag to pull me into a bad position. I have to really be able to squeeze my butt to be able to get my arm up over my head. And hey, that's the handstand push-up finish position, right, with pointed toes. So here's what we're going to do tonight. One is the couch stretch. And let's go ahead and throw yourself up. Commercial on. We're going to try to open up the hip. And here's the test that I want you to do today. We're only going to really bias this first position of pressing the hip down. Don't worry about the kind of distal quad so much. Worry about this piece. And I want you to see, if you load up, how hard it is for you to squeeze your butt. It's probably a little bit difficult. So you should easily be able to squeeze that glute and press in. And we're trying to tie those motions together. If you're so short that it's hard for you to get on the other side of the joint, no wonder your butt isn't very effective when you deadlift. So let's go ahead and do our contract and relax. And then we're going to really do some crazy stuff tonight. And I want you to press out into some strange corners and go hunting. Some little neural tension there, in some positions that you might not explore. This is pretty far out. I capture some of that psoas, and then I'm also going to bind way, 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 way over. And so the first homework is just to not come all the way up, but to just explore into some strange corners. What ends up happening is I end up biasing a little external rotation or internal rotation of that hip by just moving around, pressing to the floor. Homework number 1. Number 2, I want to dink with is some of the little pieces of the foot that we never talk about. Specifically, this kind of compartment in the front here is anterior tibialis, and tibialis anterior. And one of the things is that we talk a lot of the calf and heel cords and all this thing, but this guy gets short too. So while you're sitting on the couch, I want to see if you can spend some time really just stretching out. Curl your toes, press to the ball, and go hunting through this. A lot of people have a hard time sitting in a position like this because they're so short here. They feel bound up a little bit, and then that makes the whole thing worse. So this would be another way to kind of tackle it a little bit. But I think even standing and pressing into the ground, something you can do while you're at work. So let's go for a minute or so, really exploring the front part of the ankle in this position. You can do it while you're sitting. And then let's kind of spend some time in earnest, kind of hitting these crazy positions. You'll go hunting through there. And then last concept, radical. Your elbow is very effective at kind of getting into these areas. On the other side of that bone is a little muscle, lays underneath here, one of them called the posterior tibialis. It gives you a little bit of an arch, runs right behind the ankle. You're going to cross your shin, elbow, it's just going to hunt in there during the breaks. And what I want you to do is just slide back and forth and find one of those spots. If you have any soreness in here, running, tightness, what you're going to find is that this can be done with your lacrosse ball, but even this elbow just in here gives me a chance to work on some of my soft tissue business that makes a big, big difference. All right, so let's go explore kind of a minute here, look on the other side, but then the big deal tonight is to be able to go hunting through that front of the hip capsule so that I can open up my hips, come into a good position. That way when I deadlift, I've been able to maintain a good relationship starting short here, biases me towards extension. I'm never going to be able to reclaim that neutral position. It's just going to get more extended. All right? I know this video quality is tough for you guys sometimes, but you know, shot on an iPhone, and it's easy for my family. So we'll do our best, but hang tough. See you guys tomorrow.